Recording. Okay. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for today's discussion. I'm here with Izzy Stillwagon, the e-commerce manager and SEO lead for a new media retailer. And today we are going to welcome Izzy. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
All right. So today we are going to be talking about an article that just came out that talked about Petco's digital sales and how they doubled in 2020. Now, specifically for us, we know that Petco is a competitor for many of our independent pet store customers and some of our independent feed and farm customers as well. And we wanted to really take a minute to dive into this article to think about what Petco is doing that's leading to such an increase in online sales and what that means for our independent pet stores, what they should be learning from this. Because we know many of our stores are also seeing increases in online sales. How is this impacting them? And what can we learn from Petco? So, Izzy, the first thing really jumped out at me in this was that Petco rebranded. Did you know they rebranded?
I did not.
No, I didn't either. But in the article, it said that they rebranded themselves as Petco, the health and wellness company. What are your thoughts on that?
They definitely have been influenced by their consumers. Most people want the healthier version now. You don't want to just give your pets anything. You'll see a lot on packaging now that it's human grade. And a lot of people are very focused on that kind of food. And I think Petco took notice of that and wanted to brand themselves that way as well.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I think that we're seeing some of the independent pet stores kind of look in a hard way at their product mix as well to ensure that the product mix in their store is meeting those consumer changes in terms of what they're looking for. So Petco's taken note of that. That's going to be something that the independent pet stores will definitely need to pay attention to, what Petco's product mix looks like and how they can differentiate going forward too.
Yeah. I also think that some of our independent pet retailers have got ahead of that curve as well, because you'll see that some of them have holistic in their title. You'll see Healthy Pet Center. I know that's a popular name as well. So I think that focus was very clear to some of our independent pet retailers. And Petco knew that they needed to jump on that. But moving forward as well, other smaller stores need to move in that direction too.
Yeah, that makes sense. And actually that's great to point out. That's an area where our stores, our customers really have had an advantage or been ahead of the curve in attracting those kind of conscious customers who are conscious of what they're putting into their pets every day. Mm-hmm. So the other piece that was interesting was they said that the e-commerce and digital sales increased 103% from 2019 to 2020. A number of factors probably have driven that. One of those obviously being the COVID environment that we've all experienced. So that's obviously had an impact in digital sales. What Petco pointed to specifically was buy online, pick up in store, curbside pickup, ship from store, and same-day delivery as what they meant by online sales increasing. What do you think our pet stores can learn from kind of hearing that's what's driving Petco's online sales?
I think starting especially with COVID, the need to not come into store, not touch all of the objects, just be able to order online, pull up, and then somebody would put something in your car was a huge factor for consumers. And I know that some of our stores started to learn that and wanted to jump on that as well. And Shopify, a platform that we use, recognized that as well and decided that they couldn't just offer shipping on their platform. They needed to offer pickup as well. So that was such a huge factor for consumers, and it influenced Petco and then also the independent pet retailers as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that increase is pretty drastic too. So I know we've had some pet stores that we've encountered who are kind of hesitant about that investment in terms of, should I actually spend the money to invest in a really high quality pickup and delivery site? But when you learn that Petco's sales increased by 100%, so their sales doubled online, it's like, well, there's an opportunity here to pay for that investment with that revenue that you gain. It really is an investment into your store and into retaining and growing your customer base and your revenue, from what I'm hearing from Petco's experience. Mm-hmm. And Yeah.
For an example of this, I know of a store who wasn't doing a whole lot in sales. They very much focused on in-store, people coming inside. And over the course of the COVID year, so March to March, their sales grew by 600% because
Wow.
she decided to delivery out of just her truck, allow people to just order online and pick up in store. So it definitely benefited any store that wanted to make that change.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? And that's a great story to hear about one of the independent channel. And it kind of makes sense too, because if you think about Petco's footprint, they have stores all over the country. I assume in all 50 states. I think so. So, they serve a lot of different markets. So that success for them to be up, double their digital sales, that's not just like in one market or in major cities. That's across the country in all sorts of different markets, the same markets that the independent pet stores are serving too. So they have this opportunity as well.
Yeah.
So the unfortunate thing is they grew their customer base by 1 million customers in each of the third and fourth quarters, which puts them at 20 million customers at this point. So, on that note, what jumps out to me is, independent pet stores need to pay attention because they have competitors in Chewy and Amazon. We know that. And they've known about Petco and PetSmart as competitors too. But now they're at these big box stores have attracted, that's Petco gained 2 million customers there in a couple of quarters. Those are customers coming from somewhere else, right? So how do you think a pet store that's hesitant or has not invested in kind of an omni-channel solution, what do you think they should be taking away from this?
I think it's kind of an unfortunate reality that if you don't make the changes that you see Petco is doing, those customers that used to be yours will leave and go to Petco. Customers want an easier way, a safer way to get their products. So you really need to offer local delivery and curbside pickup, in-store pickup, whatever you can do to make sure that those customers stay with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like, hey, they're Petco seeing the fruits of their labor, of their investment, right? They've put this into it. And now they're seeing the customer acquisition and they're seeing the growth in revenue, and they're seeing that across all these different markets. So if you're that independent pet store, it's really tough to make the argument that that's not something you need to do at this point. It almost feels like that's table stakes for having an independent retail pet store at this point, is that you need to have online ordering for curbside pickup and delivery because consumers are clearly demanding it.
Yeah. And I think that for the most part, at least I know in my small community, a lot of customers want to stay with their small local business. They don't want to go to a big box store. So if you make those changes, you'll see the fruits of your labor and see that your customers want to stay with you.
Yeah, definitely. Have you kind of seen that throughout your community and in pet or other industries? Like how has your area responded?
Yeah, I love my town because they put in a lot of effort. We made a little coupon book for the town, so you can go around and shop at all the local businesses. You'll see even local businesses that normally compete with one another are trying to support their other competing business, like small coffee shops, something like that. So I know that everybody wants to stay local. They want to support their town. So if you give people the opportunity to do so, they will.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's something we always take great pride into. We're all from and live in small towns, supporting these other small town businesses too. So we're right there with them. So this piece from like a kind of high level strategy perspective was pretty interesting to me, because they mentioned in this that let's see the exact wording in the article that talked about this. Structural advantages for customer fulfillment, right? That's what they were trying to leverage, whereby our pet care centers now double as micro distribution centers, turning our national footprint of physical locations into a significant competitive advantage. What do you think that means?
I think it's just all of everything that they have available has become it's such a benefit to them and the consumer, whereas they weren't seeing that impact before COVID.
Yeah, it's almost like, the advantage that Amazon and Chewy kind of had for years was like this: we're going to ship you things in 2 to 3 days. It's going to arrive on your doorstep. and that was their advantage. And stores were really trying to find a way to respond to that.
Mhm.
But now, these micro distribution centers, it's almost like, okay, you might have this big warehouse, Chewy, that is far away and it takes you 2 or 3 days to ship things, but I have my store right here and I can distribute right from my store, kind of treat it as a mini distribution center, as a mini warehouse. And I can get things that I have here in my store to you in the same day. You can come in and pick it up with curbside pickup, or I can do same day or next day delivery. And I can actually beat, if I'm an independent pet store, I can beat Chewy, I can beat Amazon right to your doorstep with the product that you want. And that's a pretty, it sounds like Petco is leveraging that pretty well. That sounds like a potential advantage for a lot of our independent pet stores too.
I think that's what will make everybody stay competitive with Petco and PetSmart, is just being able to offer that quick turnaround. You'll see a lot of stores now are trying to do 1 hour pickup. People love that. They're like, oh, I'm out of my dog food. Can I just I'll order it online. You can go pick it up right away. And that's how customers will stay with you, like I said, and keep these pet stores competitive.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's other opportunities that are being recognized too with I'm not sure if it's DoorDash. It might be DoorDash that is offering, I think one of them has partnered with PetSmart already, but they're willing to partner with the independent pet stores too, which is to offer delivery, to do the delivery service. So if you're a pet store, farm store saying, well, I don't have a delivery driver, I don't have a van, we're not equipped to do this. There are partner companies now that you could work with to actually take care of the local delivery aspect too, if you want to offer fast same day delivery.
Yeah, and there's also, we'll see if this happens, but I think Uber is looking to get into that as well. And unlike DoorDash, Uber is everywhere. It's not just in cities.
Right.
So if that becomes a thing, that would really help the independent pet stores.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple other stats that jumped out about Petco's growth that I thought were really relevant for the independent pet stores were that 83% of their website orders were actually fulfilled from the pet stores themselves. So, when we tend to think about e-commerce, I think because historically we've jumped to, oh, e-commerce, that means buy on your site and you ship me something, right? But they said, this double digit growth, this doubling their growth was actually 83% of the sales were actually just same day. I mean, if they're fulfilling from the store, that means curbside pickup and same day delivery, or, short-term delivery in their local market. That's a pretty powerful statement about how consumers buy online now.
And I think that just is another thing to convince these pet stores that if they make that move into pickup and delivery, that's really going to make them very competitive when it's 83% for Petco. So you can just continue to take those customers back and make them stick with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an customer acquisition tool, as well as a customer retention tool, right? When you have this tool available to your customer, you don't want them to leave just because, hey, today, I love coming into your store usually, but today, my kid is sick, or, whatever, and I can't get to the store. All right, well, I guess I'm going to order online from Petco. You want them to just be able to order online from you, right? You don't want those dollars to start siphoning off anywhere else too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then kind of the final note here that I thought was really relevant was the repeat delivery represented 45% of their revenue too. So repeat delivery. How should our pet stores take that, or what should they be thinking about next, knowing that Petco's had so much success with repeat orders on their sites?
I think once you get the customers to come back to you or stick with you with these doing pickup and delivery, once you put those into effect, customers will continue to stick with you. But there's also the option to do subscription orders as well. On Shopify, we can do that through an app called Bold. And I think there are some other options, but that's also a huge push for consumers. Everybody wants to be able to just set it and forget it. Maybe you'll have 5 or 10% off for each order. So that would be a huge push to make consumers stay with you and be repeat customers.
Yeah, that's great, especially knowing that Petco has had success with that, right? We can kind of use them as a roadmap. Okay, it works for them. They spent the money and proved it, right? So now we can look at that and say, hey, if you're an independent pet store, we have this tool for you where, if somebody wants to buy the same bag of Blue Buffalo chicken and brown rice dog food every 3 weeks, they can just go on your website, subscribe to it for every 3 weeks. And if you want to offer them a discount, you can offer them a discount for doing that, and then just deliver it right to their doorstep every 3 weeks, right? It works for the consumer and it's great for the customer as well.
Yeah, I know. I actually personally do a subscription with my local pet store. And I just do it for my 2 cats, and I set it and forget it each month. I know that I could just go pick it up. So it's totally beneficial.
That's great. It really is a great benefit. And, and it's perfect for keeping you connected to the store too. And it's perfect for them having that touch point, and it creates kind of convenience for you as the consumer, as the pet parent, and for the store too, because they can actually start to bank on that revenue and understand that cash flow a little bit better for their business. So it works in both ways.
Yeah, and I know personally, if I didn't go in and talk to somebody, I was like, I lose my mind. I still want to go and talk to like my local pet store, and say hi to everybody, maybe go see what animals they have, to pretend like I'm going to go get another animal. But I definitely prefer to go into the store.
Yeah. And that I think kind of touches on a pretty key point here too, in that I think that's why Petco is having some success here, is understanding that consumer doesn't just want to buy online all the time, right? Like we talk about online shoppers or everybody, but it's not like people exist in a vacuum. Hey, are you an online shopper? No, I'm an in-person shopper. No, I'm an online, right? That's not the way the world works. You are, and I am. We shop in the store sometimes, and we shop online sometimes, right? We kind of do both, whatever's convenient. So the biggest success is really, of course, investing in your retail presence, investing in your local marketing, trying to drive people into the store. And then, hey, when they want to have the option to buy online, don't let them go to one of your competitors. Give them the great solutions there as well to buy online from you when it's more convenient in that aspect.
Yeah, because like you said, people love to go into the store, but sometimes they just might not be able to make it in for whatever reason. And if you offer local delivery, it will keep that person with you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Izzy, I think I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining me. Any last thoughts for any of the independent pet stores listening?
I just got to urge you, you got to do pickup and delivery. You heard all of these reasons, all the examples. I will come to your store. Like I come to my local store. You need it. Customers want it. And it will help you in the long run. You'll definitely do maybe 123% more in online sales, but you definitely got to do it.
Awesome. All right, everybody. This has been a discussion with Izzy, our e-commerce manager and SEO lead at New Media Retailer. Izzy, thanks so much for joining us. And thanks everybody for tuning in to this video. Or if you're listening, thanks for tuning in that way as well. And we will catch you soon. Wishing everybody the best.
Thanks, everybody.